Hey guys, welcome to another Licks Livestream. This week we're gonna dive into octave playing. So I was right there just playing around with octaves, you know, notes that are that far apart, an octave apart. And I have been kind of playing around with those things for quite a while, but like in recent years I've started, I don't know where this thing came from, but I've started sort of playing around with them in various ways and kind of using octaves more and more. And I just wanted to share a little bit of that kind of thing. I'm going to do that by teaching you guys how to play this week's Wednesday warm-up, which was basically an introduction to that kind of technique and that kind of idea. It's really great for moving across the fretboard. You know, you can move the octaves this way, but you can certainly move them this way. So it's kind of a way to take scales and learn how to play them all the way along the string like that, you know, across the fretboard, but with octaves. So in essence, that's what we're doing here. I'm going to teach you basically how to play this week's Wednesday warm-up, and then we'll talk about how you can take that idea and that technique and make up, you know, your own cool licks and make up your own ways of traveling across the fretboard. Okay, so I'm gonna play you the Wednesday warm-up first of all, so you guys know what I'm talking about. And here it is. It's obviously linked below. So, a couple of little variations there, but basically up and down the C major scale right there. I'm going to do it again for you. Make sure that you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, so there we have it. So if you want to get the tab, there's a free tab for it. It's linked below. It says tab. And also, if you want to watch the actual Wednesday warm-up that I'm teaching you, that is linked below as well. Yeah, basically an exercise that sort of dives into this technique of playing the scales in octaves. Okay, so it's kind of like a Wes Montgomery type of thinking, you know. But instead of, you know, using your thumb and playing both notes at the same time, you're basically dividing them, playing one at a time like that. So I'm going to dive in and show you guys exactly how to play this exercise. And then, like I said, we're gonna talk about how you can expand that and make more licks out of that. So there we go, guys. I'm using nothing but my first and third fingers, so super simple from a fingering perspective. Okay, so you're gonna put your first finger. This is the C major scale, by the way. So you know, basic stuff, but played in a you know, less basic way. So first finger on the A string, 3rd fret, right there, and then third finger on the 5th fret of the G string. So the whole thing is played on the A string and the G string. So very simple like that. And you're gonna play first the 3rd fret on the A string, and then you're gonna play the 5th fret on the G string, like that. And that is basically the shape that we move around the whole time. That is an octave shape on this set of strings. So that doesn't change. That's the beauty of guitar, isn't it? That, you know, once you got a shape like that down, like on the piano, you know, they might look different depending on, like, you know, like chords might look different. Actually, octaves are a little simpler than chords on the piano. But, you know, where the guitar is very different from the piano is that, you know, you can take a shape like this and it's completely transferable. So that is what the shape is. You got your first finger, 3rd finger, and you just move that around. So after the first note, those are both C notes, obviously. We're gonna move to the D note. I'm gonna to the E note. So, and also I'm using alternate picking, so I'm going down, up the whole time, like that. And just in terms of, you know, the kind of expression, I am adding like a little bit of snap to that, the top note, like a staccato, like that. Okay? Now that's the E. Then we're gonna go F, 8th fret and 10th fret. Now we're gonna go a whole step up. So this is obviously also an awesome way to get to know really well, you know, the pattern of whatever scale you're playing. So right now we're playing the major scale, which obviously consists of a whole step, a whole step, a half step, a whole step, a whole step, a whole step, a half step. That kind of way of seeing scales is very, very handy. You know, like if you can learn how to see scales in terms of their DNA, in terms of their sequence of steps, that can really help you out in the long run. So yeah, there we go. Now we got the G note there, 10 and 12. Then we're gonna go 12 and 14 on the A note. And again, a whole tone up to 14 and 16. And then we got 15 and 17, where we hit the high octave of the C. Just like that. There we go. Now that's the whole octave. Now after that, we're gonna just go up like that. So just gonna go, you know, one note higher. It's just because it fits nicely and lands, you know, back down on the C when you allow yourself to go up one tone above the high octave here. So we're gonna go 17 and 19 as well to catch that D note, like that. Okay, and then we're gonna start going back. And so we're just gonna go 15, 17, 14, 16, and 12, 14, 10, 12, 8, 10, 7, 9, 5, 7, and finally, right there, we're gonna land on 3 and 5. So, that's basically it. And now I'll just play it for you with the backing track that you can get below. So as you can see, there's just a little bit of a variation. So first time we just play it, the whole scale, with that that high D as well. And then second time, we're just going to focus on that G note and F note. I'm going to repeat those. You know, this is a little bit of a like lo-fi groove kind of vibe. You guys know that I've, you know, put out a fair few little lo-fi style warm-ups and pieces also on my Spotify. Actually, you can find my Spotify down below. You know, I'm putting out a fair few little pieces of lo-fi style guitaring, and yeah, so it's kind of out of that kind of world. So I love that kind of repeated little jump before it keeps going. So that's what's happening here. So it's like G, F, G, F. And then it goes back and does the same thing again. And then, fourth time around, instead of going G, F, G, F, it goes G, F, G, G, and then stops on the G, kind of unresolved. And that's basically it. That's basically it. So this is it. Once through the scale, and then G, F, G, F, and then again through the scale. And then that's the whole thing. So very simple. Let's just play it for you one more time, and then we'll talk about how you can sort of develop this a little further and use it for your licks. That's it, guys. So yeah, let's talk about how we can make something more out of this. Obviously, this is on the C major scale. Most of the time when we jam, you know, I guess most of us are probably in, not necessarily in a major key with a major scale. It's more like a minor pentatonic blues kind of vibe, or Dorian, or, you know, something to that effect. So the fun thing is to try and transfer it to that kind of world. So, you know, let's try that. So the principle is just to play the note and then play the octave higher. And on the guitar, there's only two different octave positions. Well, two main ones that you're gonna need. Then there's other ways you could do it as well. But my two favorite ones anyway are this one, which works on this set of strings and this set of strings. And then once you are on the two top or these sets of strings here, the top ones, you're gonna need to have this kind of position. So that's I'm using my first finger and my little finger. So now I'm just thinking A minor pentatonic. Okay. And then again for the G string and the E string, using my first finger and my little finger. So those are really the two ones, you know, the ones that are just 2 frets apart, and then the one that is 3 frets apart. And so yeah, let's try and play it on the A minor pentatonic scale. That's just your 5, you know, your 5th fret on the low E string, and then 7th fret on the D string. Then I'm gonna go up here, 8th fret and 10th fret, same set of strings, new set of strings, A string and G string. We're gonna go 5 and 7, and then a 7 and 9, and then we're gonna need that new shape that I talked about with the little finger. We're gonna go 5 on D and 8 on B, and then to complete the whole octave, we're gonna go 7 and 10. So 7 on the D string and 10 on the B string. Like that. So okay, so now basically what I'm saying is take all your scales and try and play them like that in octaves. That can really open up some new territory. And also, you know, where it gets really cool is when you play them not necessarily vertically like that, but horizontally. So let's try and lay this one out like here instead. So now we got 5 and 7, we got 8 and 10. Then instead of switching strings, we're going to continue on this set of strings. So we're going to go 10 and 12, and then 12 and 14, and then 15 and 17, and then the higher octave is 17, 19. There it is. So or even make it the blues scale. And where it starts to get really fun, you know, now you're able to move between the positions, but one thing that I love to do is to slide. And just come up with combinations like that. So, okay, so there's a lot of different things you can do once you start like sliding around and having fun like that. So, you know, play around with it. And like I said, try and lay out your scales. So, you know, you got your minor pentatonic or the other way, like that. Next up, you know, try your Dorian, add those 2 notes to make a Dorian. Or this way. Like I said, it really reminds you of the DNA, you know, the sequence that makes up every scale. It reminds you how every scale is built. Try the major scale, you know. Or try it this way up like we were just doing, but on a different set of strings. All right, so there is something for you to have some fun with in your jams. And yeah, that's what I hope that you will do, is have some fun. There we go. Basically, a little something for you guys to something for you guys to have a little bit of fun with. Hope you enjoy, and like as always, you know, appreciate the support on Patreon. I've got that one linked below as well. On Patreon, you can get immediate access just like that to all of my tabs. That's where they all are. Tabs for all of my Wednesday warm-ups and, you know, everything I do in the Licks live streams, and obviously all of my intro solos that are here on the channel, and all of the jam tracks. They're all on Patreon. So yeah, have a look there. I'm also doing, I extended an offer of feedback because it's been such a success since I started doing it. So I'm giving away feedback basically to people, to all my Patreons that sign up all my patrons that sign up and choose like the annual option. And people are basically sending me links of their playing, and then I've been having lots of little Skype sessions with people, and after watching their videos that people send to me, I give them feedback on their playing and try and help everyone basically level up their playing. So if that's something you want to do, hit me up on Patreon, and we'll have a good old session, and I'll tell you what I believe that you need to do in order to get to the next level with your playing. So there we go, guys. As always, I appreciate you guys very much. There's a new jam coming out tomorrow, and it actually has a special guest on it that I recorded in my old studio just before the pandemic hit. A lovely player from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He is the special guest on tomorrow's jam. So hope you guys will enjoy that one. And until then, have a great weekend. I will see you very soon. Take care, guys.